Hey everybody, today I'm going to be making Paska bread. For that you're going to need 7 cups of sifted flour. Raisins are optional, as many as you want. You're going to need 2.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. You're going to need 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm using Splenda. Plus you're going to need 1 1/2 tablespoons of sugar. You're going to need 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of water, 3 eggs. You're going to need 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, and you're going to need 1/2 cup of butter, or you could use 1 stick of butter. Okay, so in a small saucepan, you put your 1 cup of milk in and you scald it. And what that just means is you bring it up to a boil and then you turn it off. Okay, so once that's scalded, you add your cup of water, and then you add your 1 1/2 tablespoons of sugar. And you mix that. Now when that cools down to about 120 degrees, you add your yeast. Okay, so while we're waiting for our water and our milk to cool down, we could go back to our flour and we could add to our flour our salt, our other sugar, and we could sift that in. Okay, so now roughly our mixture is about 120 degrees, give or take. Now we add our yeast and we mix that up. Okay, after that's mixed up, we set that aside and we just give our eggs just a lightly beat. Okay, so the next step is you get your sifted flour, sugar, and salt, and then you get either your stick of margarine or your 1/2 cup of margarine, whichever you're gonna use, and you put that in and you work your margarine into your flour and all mixture by hand. Okay, so then when you have your butter mixed in with your flour by hand, you get your 3 eggs, you dump them in, and then you get your water, your yeast, and your milk mixture. You add that in, and you mix all that by hand. And if you want to add your raisins in, you add them in here. If not, then just omit them. Okay, so when you're all done hand mixing your dough, you get a casserole, you spray it with some Pam, you put your dough in it, you cover it, and you leave it rise for about an hour to 2 hours. Okay, so when your dough doubled in size, you get a round 3-inch high baking pan, and you put half of your dough in here, and you leave it rise again. I forgot, I sprayed this pan with Pam, and then I'm gonna cover this again and leave it sit for about an hour like I said. Okay, so you preheat your oven to 350. Okay, so once your oven is preheated to 350, you take your pan, you put it in for about 30 to 40 minutes depending on your oven and depending if it's golden brown. Okay, so the last 5 minutes when it's baking, take it out, get a brush, get some butter, and just put some butter on it. Put it back in for 5 more minutes. Okay, so after you put your butter on, you put it back in for 5 minutes. Once it's brown, you take it out and you leave it cool. Okay, so after it's cooled, you slice it up and then you could put some butter on it or you could toast it up. Eat it however you want it. Hope y'all enjoy. Happy Easter.